Hey guys, it's Jimmy here, and I want to show you some pretty important information that just came out here. First, I'll show you some new info on booster shots may trigger stroke incidences, according to the CDC and the FDA. That's right. And then I'm going to show you a video that just happened on the Senate floor. A very good video that's going viral, and you'll see why when you listen to it. You're going to want to listen to this video all the way to the end. This is a very good video, and we've been getting a lot of new information here about the virus, the vaccines, and there's really a lot of the stuff starting to come out here, especially now with new investigations going on with Dr. Fauci, and also since the Republicans have been in charge of the House of Representatives. We're just starting to get a lot of new information. And you know me, I'm not really from either side, but a lot of this stuff is concerning, especially now that we have the new bivalent vaccines that were really they just kind of came out pretty quickly. You guys can let me know your thoughts on this in the comments section. But look at this that just kind of came out here a few days ago. And also, if you guys appreciate these videos, don't forget to like and share them and subscribe if you're new to the channel so you don't miss out on new videos. Take a look at this. Okay, booster shots may trigger stroke incidences. This is according to the CDC and the FDA. Here's an overview of the risk and the prevention. This is why I thought this was pretty important to at least know about if you don't know about this. Okay, as you can see here, in addition to cardiac events, another life threatening side effect has been associated with the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine. When is the risk period? Does the flu shot play any role in these events? Which is a good question. What actions should we take to better protect ourselves? Here's a summary of the key facts, which is really kind of the basis of what you need to know. An increased risk of stroke events has been identified with the Pfizer C19 bivalent vaccine. According to a joint statement from the CDC, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, and the FDA. So again, just to re-go over that, an increased risk of stroke events has been identified with the Pfizer bivalent vaccine, according to the CDC and the FDA. Okay. The onset time in people aged 65 years or older was 1 to 21 days after the booster, with a significant cluster of events observed 11 to 21 days after the booster. 64% had received the flu vaccine on the same day of the C19 booster. I believe that's of people who had the stroke events. That's what it looks like to me. Okay, so 64% of people who had the stroke events, is what it looks like to me, had also received the flu vaccine on the same day as the booster shot. So you guys can let me know your thoughts here on that. Me personally, it just doesn't really look like a good idea to get both shots at the same time. Your body would have to be kind of dealing with both shots at the same time if you were to get them. I just, that's not something I would personally do. The bivalent booster contains the code of the spike protein, contributing to the increased risk of blood clots. Okay. High risk people should avoid the booster. And this is from the CDC. Okay. So high risk people should avoid these bivalent boosters, is what the CDC is saying. Remember the 5 suddens of stroke warnings. Advice on preventing other risk factors of stroke is also provided in this paper. Back in January, the FDA and CDC issued a joint statement that a new safety signal for ischemic stroke has been detected in one of the agency's vaccine safety surveillance system. In this statement, it read the CDC's vaccine safety data link, a near real time surveillance system, met the statistical criteria to prompt additional investigation into whether there was a safety concern for stroke in people ages 65 and older who received the Pfizer basically bivalent vaccine. So, yeah, remember here that this contributes to the risk of blood clots, and high risk people should avoid boosters here. It's also interesting to note here that an aspirin per day, um, potentially while you're taking this, um, reduces, taking a regular dose of aspirin diminishes the ability of your blood to clump together into clots by targeting the body's smallest blood cells. So basically, taking an aspirin daily can help reduce the chance that blood clots will form inside of your arteries, maybe during this time. It can minimize heart damage during a heart attack, preventing the occurrence of future events. Low dose aspirin can have serious side effects. As always, if you're concerned with this, talk with your doctor. So, next, I want to show you this hearing that happened on the Senate floor with Senator Rand Paul, and he's really just trying to uncover a lot of the facts here and with our government and the virus. Take a listen to this and let me know your thoughts on this. Here we go.
Mr. Sherman, it's estimated that between 5 and 18 million people died from COVID-19 worldwide. To a significant number of scientists, the evidence suggests that this originated from a lab leak in Wuhan. Does the State Department fund coronavirus research in China?
Do we fund coronavirus? I don't believe so, but I don't know. I'll double check and we'll get back to you on that, Senator.
The answer is yes, you do. And it's been going on for more than a decade, and it's done through a program called PREDICT and then the Global Virome. And why this is important is we had 1 million Americans die, and we really haven't had any discussion of this. No hearings, nothing. People are unaware that they're even funding the research. We found out recently through the House unclassified report that money is going from the NIH to American universities to the Academy of Military Medical Sciences Research in China. We are subcontracting money and sending it over, but millions is coming from the State Department. So the idea is this: we will identify all the viruses in the world and we'll be safer because we identified them. But here's the question: are we safer to have some guy or some woman crawling down a cave 10 hours away from Wuhan, coming up with bat guano, coming up with viruses, and bringing it to a city of 15 million like Wuhan? This is what's been going on for a decade. It's a setup for an accident. It's a setup for a mistake. And nobody's doing anything about it. We continue to fund it. The main group that's been getting this money is EcoHealth Alliance, over $100 million, a lot of it through the State Department. They continue to get money. They don't file their reports on time. They didn't stop their experiments. And yet we reward them with more money. 15 million people died, and we haven't done a thing about it. Nobody seems to care. We're not even sure we fund it. The State Department's a big funder of this project. It's a multi-decade-long project, but there are scientists, as we speak, from Stanford, from MIT, from prestigious universities around the country. These are not partisans. Most of them are not Republicans who stand up and say, oh my God, what are we doing? Bringing these viruses from remote bat caves to major metropolitan areas and with no controls over this. So we've been asking for information from the State Department because we want to know more about this. U.S. Right to Know has been sending FOIA requests for 2.5 years, and they don't get anything. So, Mr. Chairman, I've sent 2 letters. Some of them are 6 months old now, and we get a, whatever, we're not going to give you any information. What I would hope for is that we could have, people always talk about bipartisanship. Could we not get bipartisan support for records? This is not partisan. We want to know what the U.S. State Department is funding. NIH resists our requests on their funds. The 2 things that we know for certain that have led us to believe this came from the lab that are big came because one was leaked, and this was a DARPA request. So the Chinese researchers in China wanted from DARPA money to create a virus that, guess what, looks exactly like COVID-19. They asked for it in 2018. We turned them down. Fortunately, we did the right thing for once. We turned them down. That doesn't mean they didn't do the research. And so many scientists had an aha moment. They saw this and they said, Oh my goodness, they asked for money to create something that looks almost exactly what we got. So in nature, you do not have coronaviruses that infect people that have what is called a furin cleavage site. Chinese said, give us money, we were going to stick a furin cleavage site to allow it to infect humans more. We found out that not because you let us know, or not because the NIH let us know, they still resist. This is top secret. This is classified. This is the whole problem of classification, but it's also to cover up things. So we don't know anything about the 28 thing, but we had an illegal leak that went to somebody in the media that's now public that said the Chinese wanted to create a virus just like COVID-19 in 2018. The other thing we know is 3 researchers in the Wuhan lab, in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, got very sick with flu-like symptoms similar to COVID in November. We only know that, though, because the Trump administration on the way out declassified it. So we have to get over all the classification. We also have to be more forthcoming. And I'm hoping the chairman will consider looking at our requests. These are not partisan. We want to know all the information about funding of research in China. We want to know the interactions. There were cables going back and forth between the State Department saying, holy cow, they're not wearing gloves, they don't wear masks and doing this research. They're doing it in what's called a BSL-2 as opposed to a BSL-4. Most of the research that we think escaped was not done in the appropriate lab. And the State Department knew about it, but we've had no hearings about this. They refused to give us information. 15 million people died, 1 million Americans died, and you won't give us information. So what I would ask is look at our request. This isn't partisan. This should be about discovering the origins of this. The scientific community is about 50-50 now, and I would hope that we suspect the Chinese of not being honest and withholding information, but it's sad that the U.S. government is withholding information from its representatives.
So, yeah, the senator there says that we are funding research in China. And you heard what he says, that they're going in caves and drumming up these viruses. Is that how the virus was spread to the whole world? It's a very real possibility, if you ask me. And I mean, the US says that over 1 million people have died from this virus, and we're funding it, according to him. And we have been for years. So let me know your thoughts. Is this where our money is going? And should it continue? Probably not. So let me know your thoughts here in the comments, and I'll continue to bring you guys the truth and directly what Congress is talking about here. Right, left, center, it's really just what is happening here in our country on a daily basis. So thanks for liking and sharing these videos. If you haven't yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and then the bell icon so you don't miss out on new videos that come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here's some videos you should watch next. Here's a video about Dr. Fauci changing his mind. Really good video there you should watch. And here's what the United States Air Force just had to do with Russia. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.